Welcome back to Eastern Creek Raceway. Time to go radical racing now, and let's find out a little bit more about James Winslow.
Yeah, so we've had quite a successful career. I've won 3 Formula 3 championships and a Renault 3.5 series as well. Managed to win the Asian Series 2006, a British National Series 2004. 2008, I was the Australian Formula 3 champion and the Gold Star winner, which was a great season for us. So yeah, I've done a few things in my time now.
How special was it winning that Australian Formula 3 title?
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah, the last race was in Tasmania. I actually had sponsorship from MPA Projects for that last race of the year that actually got me to the track. So to win the championship and now be here racing in a radical with the guy that sponsored me to win the championships is great. The Radical's a really good car. It's a really well-made car, and they handle well. So from my point of view, it's quite easy to jump in and adapt because the driving style itself is the same. The cars have got a good downforce, and they're on a good tyre as well. So yeah, it's actually not as hard as it seems to adapt from a Radical to a Formula 3 car.
Well, the Radicals are about to go racing, but before we do, let's find out from some of the more experienced pilots that sit on the front row.
Had a few problems in qualify with the car on the upshift, but hopefully we got that sorted today, and we ended up qualifying P2, which is good enough, you know, on the front row. That's the main thing, so it was good.
Yeah, it was pretty trying conditions. It was getting dark, but J&S did a fantastic job. The car was very quick, and I just did my job really. I didn't do anything too special. I just drove the car with what the car could do, and we got pole position by 7/10, I think, so we were really pleased with that.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights of race 1, and it wasn't a great start for the 4 car. The Singleton Winslow machine just a little bit slow to get away. Under these conditions here at Eastern Creek today, no great surprise. A damp track, plenty for the drivers to do.
Yeah, that's right, Boydo. Seen a good start there by Richard Bloomfield going around the outside, and here we've got to move on. Simon Haggerty spun out of turn 9. Unfortunate, and Peter Opie just driving off. Looks like a bit of damage.
And that brought out the safety car as they came out to clear the debris. And unfortunately for Opie, it was a trip to pit lane to have some damage repaired. Safety car came out, and a bit of a controversial start, Garth.
Yeah, I don't know, something happened there with Tony Palmer chasing or passing the safety car before it entered the pit lane.
There is the Opie machine coming back out onto the track. You can hear the crew screaming out, stay at that 40k speed limit. The 78 machine looking good until this.
Yeah, that's Greg Smith. They're just having a little moment at turn 2, probably a little bit hot on the entry, but he gathered up quite nicely.
Managed to get back on the track and only lost 1 spot.
And that's James Winslow there taking race 1 win. That's going to be really good bet Singleton's championship points.
Let's check the final results. It was Singleton Winslow that took it out over Muston and Barker. Tim Berryman finished in 3rd with Simon Haggerty in 4th.
Well, I'm pretty elated, obviously. It's great to have James on board for the event. We had a strategy of going out on slicks, which was a bit tricky in that first session. So the first time in my racing career, I haven't been complaining about a safety car. That was nice and safe sitting behind there. Gave me the opportunity to warm up the brakes for James so he could get in and do what we needed to do.
Well, we are getting set for the second race of the weekend, and as you saw with the onboard, it's James Winslow, the B drivers, that will start this race. Although, Garth, you wouldn't want to call James a B driver, would you?
No, definitely not, Bordeaux. James has got a very good racing CV behind him. Currently racing in Indy Lights in the US. And here we have him starting on the front row, James Winslow, followed by Ben Barker. We've got Tim Macro, his first run in a Radical, starting 3rd. Alongside him, Tim Berryman.
We go back to Baden Walker starting out of 13th spot. Brumby out of 15th. Sue Hughes will round out the top 16. We're ready for the start. Let's see how they get off the line. Oh, one of them not getting away.
Stalled car by, that's Tony Palmer there. Oh. Unfortunate, that was very lucky by him.
Was almost cleaned up, the Palmer car. Just in the last moment, that driver that came from Rearick Red was able to dive out of the way. On board with Bloomfield as they dive down towards turn 2 for the first time. Difficult with cold tyres, as we just saw.
Yeah, a bit of a brake lock up there for, looks like Dean Evans. A little bit hot into turn 2 on the first lap. Tyres are still cold, but managed to pull it up.
We wouldn't expect Dean Evans to be locking up with cold tyres, would we?
No, definitely not. Dean is one of the 4 pros in the race this weekend.
As the 41 car of Barker is trying to find a way past up into 3rd spot. Good little dice going on.
Yeah, that's you know, it's good to see the 3 pros up in front. You see Tim Macro's car sporting a yellow front today due to the accident Peter had yesterday.
Well, what can Macro do? We know how good a pilot he is. On board with James Winslow, looking cool, calm and collected behind the wheel of the Radical. The MPA Projects machine, and good to see MPA sponsoring not only this round but the entire series through 2011.
Yeah, and we've got James in the front. He's looks like he's doing it quite easy. James has a lot of experience in these Radicals over the years, and it's good to see him come back for the drive.
He's a great open wheeler pilot, and these cars do lend themselves to that driving style.
Yeah, that's right. They're very similar to the Formula 3 cars, and also probably quite similar to the Indy Lights he's been currently driving in the US.
And Tim Macro sitting back there in a second spot at the moment as we go back on board with James Winslow. Great indication of what sort of speeds they're capable of down the main straight.
Yeah, they just pull 6 gear just before the start-finish line. Hold it flat through turn 1 about 225 kilometres an hour.
I suppose it almost looks like James is on a Sunday drive. Oh, no, it is Sunday, but I suppose compared to the machines he's used to driving in the US, it would be a bit like that.
It would be a Sunday drive for him, and we're on board again with Richard Bloomfield. You just see the shift lights there on the dash keep flickering up.
Just to let him know how hard he is going. Keep a close eye on that car.
Yeah, that's Ben Barker piloting the 41 machine, driving alongside Neil Mustard. Ben's been very fast all weekend, and once again he's had a great experience in Radical.
And the body language of the car suggests that he's really giving it some at the moment too, as he tries to bridge that gap to our race leader James Winslow. Further back in the field though, battle's on in earnest.
Yeah, look, just Richard Bloomfield running wide a little bit there, letting Phil Anselon and maybe Trevor Gerber go on the outside of him. Side by side, coming up to turn 6. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, a bit of a tag there. Richard Bloomfield on the exit of the turn, just drifting a little bit. Just giving a very, very small tap. All fair in love and war.
Exactly right, Boydo. We'll just see Anselon get past, and now he's being challenged by Trevor Gerber behind him. Let's see what if Trevor can get past him.
Goes very defensive down into turn 9 to try and protect that inside line. Trying not to lose another spot out there.
And look, we've got Simon Haggerty on the back of Greg Smith here, challenging. Simon's been doing a great job all year in the championship and currently sitting in 3rd spot, so I'm sure he wants to get past a few cars and get some more points.
There's Simon Haggerty on board the 5 machine through the final group of turns onto the start-finish straight, and that's allowed Smith just a little bit of breathing space as he runs wide.
You see, Simon Haggerty just ran wide there a little bit. That'll hurt his top speed down the main straight. We've got Trevor Gerber down the inside of Richard Bloomfield. Nice pass.
What can Gerber do? He's got the inside line to turn 1. Yeah, Bloomfield's going to have to back out. So Richard Bloomfield's car obviously not performing the way he would like in this second race of the weekend, because he's lost a couple of spots and usually he's pretty competitive.
Yeah, normally he's really competitive, Boydo. The car's not looking that crash hot. Who we got here? We got Tony Haggerty. Looks like he's had a little spin at turn 5.
Speaking of not looking too crash hot, that's not where he'd like to find himself. He's going to be able to rejoin by the looks of things, which is good news, albeit with a little bit of kitty litter coming out onto the track with him.
Yeah, that's great that he can rejoin. It's not good for the cars coming up behind him with all that rocks and gravel all over the circuit. But here we've got Dean Evans trying to move on Tim Berryman.
Dean Evans, a very, very accomplished driver in his own right, and a very competitive bloke. I think that's the most politically correct way to say it. And I know Dean, so I can get away with that. I hope.
That's right, Boydo. Dean's having a great drive this weekend. He was very fast in practice and very fast in qualifying as well for his first real shot in a Radical, really. So he's doing a great job.
Well, he's, as I say, a very keen competitor and doesn't like relinquishing spots. And you can see he's absolutely giving the Radical everything he can at the moment. Nice clean lines too.
Yeah, he's chucking everything to try and get past Tim. But here we go. First of the pit stops.
This is where it's going to get really interesting. Timed pit stops, of course.
Yeah, we've got a minute pit stop for all cars with non-pros and a minute 30 for the cars with the pro drivers. So it'll mix it up a little bit for the end of the race.
So your drivers like James Winslow will have to sit there. Ben Barker will have to sit there for an extra 30 seconds to allow a little bit more time for their vast experience behind the wheel of a race car.
Yeah, that's right, Boydo. And here we've got Greg Smith getting out and Byron Smith jumping in. And now we see Simon Haggerty. He has to jump out. He's driving on his own, so he has to jump out, jump back in the car, strap himself back in.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
That's not good at all for Peter Opie and Tim Macro, number 1 machine. They come into this round leading the championship, and unfortunately it looks like an engine failure.
Let's go down and find out a little bit more about one of the men behind the scenes of this racing series.
Well, I did 3 track days with Radicals, and then I bought my first Radical. That's how much I love them. And this is my second Radical. Look, it's just being able as a novice race car driver to be able to get in a car and do the times we're doing and enjoy yourself racing this hard. The exciting thing about enduros, pit stops. Getting in and out of the car at the minute sounds easy, but it just adds that bit of excitement to the whole thing. Plus you're doing it with another driver in the same car, which makes it more of a team event. Very enjoyable.
Phil Enselin's got the right attitude about this category too, hasn't he?
He has, Boydo. He's got a great attitude. He's doing a really good job this year. And we've got Tim Berryman just pulled off the side of the track. That's not good news for Tim. Not sure what's going on there, but that's going to hurt his championship points.
He won't appreciate that one iota, but the car off to the side of the track and will take no further part in this race as the pit stops continue.
Yeah, and here we have Francois in the pits, jumping out of the car to let George Davis pilot his own machine.
You want to talk about a minister for enthusiasm. He might be small in stature, but he is big in excitement when it comes to motor racing. He loves it.
Absolutely, and you'll just see there's actually a massive height difference between George Davis and Francois, and unfortunately he's got a very big dummy seat, that's for sure.
And Francois doesn't mind what sort of a car he drives, as long as he's out there on the racetrack. Started off in the Mirage series and now finds himself behind the wheel of one of these awesome machines.
Yeah, I think as long as it's got 4 wheels, Boydo, he'll drive it.
It doesn't always have to have 4.
And here we have Tony Palmer, who's ducked up the inside of Andy Palmer and Trevor Gerber by the look of it. Tony's had a up and down weekend, but he's been fast right from the start, and he'll be trying to pull back some positions to try and boost him up in the championship.
We'll see what Gerber can do. He's got himself into a pretty good position as they make their way around to the start-finish straight. The 33 car still not able to go forward. Tim Berryman sitting there.
That's very unfortunate for Tim. He won't be too happy with that. He coming in the series really determined to take it on and try and take it out, but he's had a few bad rounds, and this is not going to help his championship points.
On board with Simon Haggerty down through turn 8, down towards the hard-braking area of turn 9. A good overtaking opportunity here.
Yeah, here's Simon trying to take on his dad. So let's see if he moves over for his son or not, or if they're going to take each other on.
This could make Christmas dinner a little bit interesting. Gets up the inside though, and Simon goes forward, picks up another spot. Let's find out a little bit more about one of these competitors. Sue Hughes is racing in the Radicals this year.
Now, your podium finish at Phillip Island, was that luck or strategy?
I call it strategy. I went out on wets. It was looking like it was going to downpour. A lot of the guys said, oh, no, it'll be fine. I had a mechanic with me that actually used to run with Kawasaki superbikes. So he knew the track very well, and he said, oh, no, there's rain coming in. I said, right, let's go wets, I don't care. And it was paid off.
Now, what is it that drew you to these Radical cars?
They're beautiful cars. They're fantastic to drive. I think the speed. I actually did a day with my Navy box in a 1300 down at Wakefield. After you couldn't get the smile off my face. All the way back to Sydney, I said, that's just it. Selling the BMW, I'm on a Radical. It's just exhilarating, absolutely exhilarating.
Sue Hughes has been around for a few years racing a variety of different types of cars too, and if she's saying the Radical is the car to be in, you can take her word for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sue jumped into this car this year, and I don't think she's looked back since. She absolutely loves it. She does a great job. She's always got a smile on her face, and she's a great person to have in the series.
Yeah, very enthusiastic, and that's what this category is all about, enthusiasm. Coming out on weekends like this, getting behind the wheel of a car, being competitive, learning the craft, and just having fun.
Just having fun, Boydo. That's what it's all about. That's what this category is about. And it's also quite competitive here. We got Neil Muston on the inside of Ollie Smith. Nice clean move.
Was able to pick up another spot in the 41 machine, so a little bit of a charge forward taking place here as the 16 car goes back one.
Yeah, I think the 41 machine is looking good for this race, actually. They're a very good combination, Neil Muston and Ben Barker. Let's see where they can finish up.
Excalibur Racing, that's what they race under. So they regard themselves as being the top of the stack, name-wise anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And it's Sue Hughes is doing a great job to be on the back of Ollie Smith. You know, she's just very consistent. She's always there. She's always on the pace. You know, she does a really good job.
Well, I mentioned Excalibur Racing with the top of the stack name-wise. They're going to be the top of the stack racing-wise this weekend as well, because Barker is coming down across the line with the final group of turns to go through. The combination have been very, very hard to beat this weekend, and the 41 car now has the checkered flag in sight.
Yeah, they've done a great job all weekend. We've got Neil Muston across the start-finish line to take the win, and that's a good job for Ben Barker and Neil Muston. Yeah,
a great result for them. They take the victory in the second race of the weekend, the long one, 32 laps. Finishing in second spot will be the Singleton-Winslow combination as we check final results. Tony Palmer, then you've got Gerber right behind him, Medlin and Haggerty rounding out your top 6. And George Davis and Francois Joy round out the top 16 in the Engineering Partners machine.
Been a good battle over the weekend between you guys and, of course, Ed and James.
It was. It didn't quite go away yesterday. More through me stuffing up, not from anything Ben did. But it's been a great learning experience for me as well. Like having Ben as my partner here. He's a budding Porsche Carrera Cup driver as well, and he can drive anything. So having Ben here giving me instruction as well has been great for me.
So Ben, we're going to see you in the Radicals a few more times?
Hopefully. What about it, Neil?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Give it another go.
Yeah, why not? No, it was really good, and congratulations to Neil. He drove a really good race, and a lot of people cracked under pressure on the last few laps, and Neil did a great job to keep the times up and just keep on it, and came home with a win. So it's fantastic.
It's Edward Singleton that leads the series on 271 points. Simon Haggerty in second spot, and Peter Opie rounds out the top 3. Well, we hope you've enjoyed all of the action of the Radicals. They put on a great display, and if you'd like to come and see them live, their next appearance is with the Shannons Nationals at Morgan Park on the 12th through to the 14th of August. We'd love to see you trackside.